What's going on, everybody, and welcome to Broad Horizons. I'm your host, Chantel Gillette.
And I'm James. How you guys doing?
We
I
got,
wanted to
we got a special guest here today, Liz.
Hi.
So how's it going, Liz?
It's going good. Everything's going good. My birthday just passed, so I'm very excited to be on here and to be with you guys.
Do you know why we brought you here?
I have an idea, just a little one.
Can you elaborate on that idea?
Is it
Yes,
this book?
Yes. So guys, we brought Liz Marie on this podcast today to share us, to enlighten us, to eyelighten us about her new poetry book that she wrote. How long did it take you to write?
So honestly, I was working on this for about 3 years. A good 3 years, yeah.
Wow.
Just with everything, just the poems, writing them out, editing them, and then actually designing the book, the cover, everything in total. Like, it really took about 3 years.
Wow.
Was that intentional? Like you actually writing a book, or was it like you had some poems already and you wanted to like bring them together? Or
So actually, it was not intentional at first. I began writing once I had a friend who passed away in 2018. And I don't know, writing was just my escape. And I just began writing down my thoughts, the things that I felt. And over time, as I went back on my notebook and I started reading them, I was like, I feel like a lot of people can relate to this. And I feel like I should post this and show people. And so I started by making an Instagram account. And I made an Instagram account for my poetry. And from there, it was like everybody just kept encouraging me, like, you should, publish a book, like, do it. Like, I would buy it. I know that this has helped me. So that kind of pushed me. But no, from the beginning, it was not intentional to publish a book.
Wow.
I think a lot of the times that's something that we kind of overlook is like our stories. I feel like we all got a story to tell, but sometimes it's like, I'm going to keep it to myself because this is hard for me personally, but not really understanding or seeing that like somebody else could benefit from my story or my pain or what I've actually like been through,
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. I know you said it was your birthday week. I know you said you did some things yesterday. What was your week like? Give us a word to describe your week.
I would say new beginnings. Like, this whole week has just been like doing things that I've never done before. And yeah, I would definitely describe it as new beginnings. My birthday was awesome. I spent it with family. I took my dog to the beach. He swam for the first time on my birthday, and I was like, oh my God, like, you love me. Like, this is my birthday gift. I was so happy. Like, but yeah, overall, I would say new beginnings. I've never been on a podcast before, so this definitely checks that off the bucket list. Yeah, everything's just been like fresh start. It's been awesome.
Yeah,
that's really good. How about you? How about you, Shant?
I want to like connect to that. I feel like new beginnings is something that I've been kind of like feeling as well. Just with like everything, it's something that I feel. Everything just starting to shift. I can't really like hold something that's changing or starting now, but I can just, it's something that I'm feeling like new things are coming. I'm feeling a new energy, a new vibe around me. So that's definitely something as well that I would say that describes my week is just like starting to open up those things and really like dive into them. I feel like it's some things that I've seen before and it's like, all right, like I see it there, but I'm not really like acting on it or moving on it. And then just kind of setting that intention to like take on these new beginnings fully and like intentionally. Definitely been a vibe for my week as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like we're all on the same energy, the same vibration. Because I feel like this week This week has definitely been something to me. It hasn't been bad. It hasn't been the greatest, but I definitely feel the turnaround of starting new things and new beginnings and all of that. I've been to the park like twice this week. I love the park. I love the
Yeah.
park. I went and meditated yesterday. I was there for like almost 3 hours yesterday. And then I meditated this morning. And it's just so much that I'm getting into, such as like structuring. I feel like I lacked a whole bunch of structure in my life and everything. And that's something I've been picking up this past 2 weeks actually, and I'm starting to implement.
Word.
It's funny that you say that because I feel like a lot of people, they lack structure in their life. I know I did for sure. And you ask for all these blessings and you ask for all these things to happen and all these good things, and then they do, and then you're like, wait, I don't even know how to handle this. Like, how am I supposed to, like, hold on, like, I didn't think it was actually going to happen. Now I'm not even prepared to receive what I asked for because I have no discipline, I have no structure.
I
And I feel like yeah,
Go ahead. I cut you off.
I feel like that's kind of like what this past year has been teaching me is like, okay, yeah, like you can ask for all these blessings, but if you're not in a position to receive them and if you don't even know how to keep them, it's like, what are you even asking them for?
And I heard somebody say this, and he said the key to a well-lived life is a balanced life. And it's not necessarily like, how do I say it? Everything just has to come together. It goes with the lows and the highs. You have to have the lows to have highs. So and that kind of goes back to that structure. You need to like have a simple routine. You need to do the stuff that you don't want to do. You have to uh I don't know, it goes as simple as having a skin care routine, and then a meditation routine, or some things that you implement into your life, just so you can like, or it doesn't really matter what the activity is, but as long as it aligns with you, or how do I say it, it's stuff that you need to do, that you may be, I'll just do it another day, I'll just do it later, or I'll get to it next week or something like that. No, like, then the stuff that you want, that you ask for, will never come, because you need to take those immediate steps, so that way your fate, or whatever that you're praying for, that you're asking for, will come on time. By you delaying all of this stuff, oh, I'll do it next week, you're delaying your blessings, you're delaying that gift from the universe.
That's
Right.
very true.
I know we talked about like new beginnings, and I feel like that relates to that. With new beginnings comes, I want to say, new territories, right? So a bunch of new things start to happen that, as it happens, you gotta like adjust. You gotta be able to get on the boat and ride while it's happening. So having that structure already set, I feel like helps when those new things start to add to your agenda, to your schedule, like things you gotta do. This is thing like, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So it's like, whatever you're doing, you gotta have some type of plan. Even if it's like, this just happened out the blue, I don't know like what I'm going to really do with it. That structure, or that like foundation that you already stand on or already walking on, is going to help you when it comes to like adding these new things um into what I have going on now. And I know you hinted on meditation. I know that's something that was also in the book, or in the poem book, right? So how do you think meditation plays into that when it comes to staying on track and just staying focused with everything that you have going on?
So I feel like, honestly, meditation was it still is a very big part of me even finding myself to be able to even create this book, because I I am naturally a very impulsive person. And when something, like, as I was making this book, right, there would be, it's funny because you were just mentioning like the structure, how important it is to have it when you're doing something new. And at first, I had no structure for this book. I had no idea what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to put this book out, right? And through meditation, I was able to pick out, okay, well, this is how I want to do it. This is, you know, what I want my book to look like. This is what I want. This is what I want people to feel when they have it in their hands, you know? And I feel as though, like, if you don't take those few minutes to calm your brain down and just, like, actually, like, relax, whatever you're trying to do, it just won't go as planned. Like, to be honest with you, like, I had a date to publish this, and because I was not organized, because I was not calm enough to really put my thoughts together, I had to push the date back. And a lot of people don't even know that, because I wasn't confident in the first date that I wanted to publish it, because I had no structure. And I just knew that I wasn't going to get it done by then. But yeah, like, I was like, no, I need to change the date. Let everybody know that it's on the 22nd of February. Yeah, they don't need to know that there was a previous date before that. And my lack of structure and my lack of, you know, making good decisions, like timely decisions, led to me pushing the book back. So yeah.
Wow.
Meditation is important. It really helped me, like, gather everything together.
Wow, that is very I feel like with meditation, that's the purpose of meditation, letting all of your thoughts come and go. And I said this before in the podcast, it's just letting your thoughts flow. They say you meditate, and or first you're supposed to ask for what you want. So you're talking to the universe, you're talking to God, you know, whoever your creator is, and then you talk to them, you ask for it, and then you're supposed to meditate or pray or however you know, do that, and then the answers will come to you as you're meditating, you know, and then why? Because before you started meditating, you have these questions, or you have these specific points that you want to come into your life, or you want to reach, or it doesn't matter. And even though you'll think about 1,000 other things, at some point during your meditation session, these points will come out, because you'll actually start thinking. You'll start to gain control a little bit of how you think. And I think that kind of goes back to being the observer of your own thoughts, but we'll get back to that, because we talked about that plenty. My question is, did you have something to say, Chantel?
You go ahead.
My question is, what inspired I? You know, it's I.
Yes.
Yeah, and then I noticed in the book, instead of I, the letter I, you put the word I instead. What inspired that? Where did that come from?
Okay, so when I first created this book, when I had my first copy, and it was nowhere near this, okay? I wish I would have brought my first copy so you guys could have seen the difference between the two. But when I first created the book, everything was normal, right? Except the name Alignment. Like, I had changed it. And then I had a dream, and it was like, the dream was basically me just speaking from my third eye. It was a very weird dream. I'm not even going to sit here and explain it. But overall, it was just me speaking from a whole different vision. And when I woke up, I was like, okay, so this book needs to be spoken from a different, you know, vision than me. Like, it has to be from a very spiritual, you know, point of view. And so that's kind of what inspired it. So the eye represents, you know, all of this is from my third eye. Like, it doesn't come from, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just like a third eye view, third eye thought, like, and that's just how I came up with it. As far as alignment, I just don't like the normal word alignment. It just, I don't know, I didn't like it. And I was like, well, this is a whole different vision. Like, so we just gonna change the A, we're gonna put I, and people gonna eat it up. And that's what happened.
I like that.
I was like, it's gonna make me stand out, because people are gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, oh shit, like, what does that even mean? Like, what does that, like, represent? And yeah, the whole book is a third eye view. Like,
That's
Yeah.
dope.
That's why you have, I created this cover, right? When I created it, I was struggling to the max because, the cover of a book is the first thing you see. And when you see it, if it's not appealing to the eye, you're going to be like, oh, like, okay. So the picture in the background, I actually took on an airplane. So that's a picture captured by me. And I liked how the sun looked like it was a pupil. And so I was like, perfect. We're going to draw an eye over that and place it. And butterflies to me represent transformation and growth. So, and the whole book is about transformation and growth through emotions and just throughout life. So I feel like the whole book in itself represents like being in a whole different view of life, seeing things from a different perspective. So, yeah.
That's dope.
Wow.
I feel like I know you was talking about like your dreams. If you're comfortable, I would love for you to like give us a hint of kind of what that dream was about.
Don't
But
be shy. Share.
I feel like dreams are like huge. Some dreams are something that I like pay attention to because there's so many things. Again, it comes to that back to that intention. I feel like when you have something on your mind throughout your day, or like you thinking about something maybe consciously or even subconsciously, when you lay down to go to sleep at night, we have these dreams, and a lot of the times they seem like random. Like I know for me personally, I have dreams, they be like, I'll be here, then I'm there, then I'm talking to this person, somebody I never met, somebody I never seen, but like all these things come back to us, but really they're the things that we're thinking about when we're not here. So when I dream, when I wake up in the morning, I try to like reflect on those dreams. Like what could this have meant to me? And somebody that kind of like is big on dreams as well. It's a couple things that they do to like kind of try to figure out what this dream really means to you and to your life.
Yeah.
A couple of those things is just like, how are you feeling in this dream? Like, were you scared? Were you nervous? Were you running from something? Was like, what was happening in that dream? And then what really stood out to you, and then kind of try to relate that. Like if I was scared of like a bear chasing me in my dream, what are you running from in your life right now? That's like, you may not realize it, but like, dang, like that's why this is what this means in that dream. So if you don't mind, like talk to us a little bit about that dream and what really like got those thoughts going for you.
Yes. Okay. So, everything that you said about dreams is very true. I try to keep a dream journal, as much as I can, because I feel like sometimes our brain does try to send those messages, through our dreams. So this dream specifically, I was coming out of a lotus flower. You guys know what a lotus flower is, right?
Yeah.
They grow in the mud, and then when they open up on a pond. So that to me was already very significant because lotus, they literally grow through mud. And if you notice in the back of the book, I have a part of a poem, and it literally speaks, about how every lotus needs mud to grow. So already that message was very clear to me when I saw the lotus in my dream. But when it opened up, it was me coming out of it. And it's crazy because I had like it was my face and everything, but I had an eye on my neck. And to me, that was very significant because, well, you have your throat chakra, your throat chakra, you're supposed to use it to speak, it's very healthy to express yourself. But when I saw an eye there, I was like, well, that to me represents a new vision, like a new way to express yourself. How are you going to relate to these people? How are you going to show your emotions and your feelings and the things that you've been through in this book? And so that dream kind of helped me really, like, it pushed me to put the book out, honestly, because I was very scared to publish this book. I thought that people weren't going to like it. I thought, you know, just all those negative things that come up in your head when you're trying to do something new for yourself. And that dream kind of pushed me and was like, you know, like, get yourself out there, you know, grow into something new, and show people, you know, what the gift that you have, because it's a gift. It flows naturally. It's not forced. I don't really think too much. It just comes, and I feel like I've been able to help a lot of people. So yeah, that was kind of the dream. It was a little weird. I'm not gonna lie. Like when I first like woke up, I was like, what the fuck was
Were you
that?
terrified?
Like, yeah, I was very
Seeing
scared.
yourself come out of a flower, like, I mean, that it
And
had to look beautiful though, right?
yeah, but it was a little creepy because, like, so I have a tattoo, right? And
Yes,
it's
I
kind of
wanted to
that.
talk about that.
So if you
Wow.
peep, it's like kind of like exactly like that.
Word.
And so that's kind of what it looked like, except my face was there and my eye was down in my throat. So it was pretty creepy. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty creepy. And when I started writing it in my dream journal and stuff, I was like, what the fuck is this supposed to mean? I sat on it for a few days. I meditated on it. I even talked to my mentor about it. I was like, give me some insight. What does this even mean? And she was like, you know exactly what it means. It's very clear. It's very obvious. You're just too scared to take that step. And that's okay, because eventually you're going to do it. And here we are now.
Yeah, it's like that thing, like I just gotta do it. And I feel like that's something that a lot of us experience, is like not wanting to do something, or knowing what we need to do, but not really taking action on it because of like fears or doubt. But then it's like, if you really don't understand how much love or like respect or just like support you'll get from people when you actually do put these things out. Because it's like a lot of people relate to our stories. We all different. We all have different experiences, but I feel like a lot of us generally have a lot of the same experiences and things like that happen, that go on around us. But I know you
Right.
mentioned a mentor. How important do you think it is to have like a mentor or somebody that can help you and guide you and like push you through certain things?
You need a mentor. It's like, it's essential. It's really essential, because I feel like my mentor has humbled me. She has taught me how to be accountable. Um, she's just like, she's really helped me just develop myself as a person in so many ways and aspects. It's like not even funny, like she has definitely helped me just be more clear on what I want and my vision. um it's extremely important to have somebody by your side that wants to see you progress, but is willing to tough conversations with you and help you, you grow as a person. Like,
Welcome back,
my
Liz.
bad, I don't know what happened. Like, I was talking and it said connecting, and I'm like, oh, oops.
Yeah, lost you for a minute.
But yeah, mentors are essential. You need somebody there that's gonna give you that push and will hold you accountable. Being held accountable is really important, because we bullshit with ourselves a lot, and we try to sweep it under the rug. But when you have somebody there that's what they're meant to do, is literally push you and let you know, like, hey, like, you're playing yourself right now. It's very important. Yeah.
How did you go about finding a mentor? Who is this person, if you don't mind me asking? I hope I'm not prying.
So her name is Lalisha. I actually found her through IG, but we built a very strong relationship. We've known each other for like 4 years now, and yeah, that's how I met her. I met her through a live, and from there on, like, I followed her, and she just kept inspiring me, and I was like, oh no, like I need to, like actually like really sit down and talk to you. And we got on a FaceTime call, and ever since then she was like, I'm gonna mentor you. I was like, perfect. Like, this is exactly what I need. And from there on, it's been history. Like, she's probably one of the only people I trust when it comes to anything like business, anything that has to do with my goals and my dreams. I consult with her first, and from there we move and we make a plan. Yeah.
That's huge. Like, that's huge. When it comes to business and like your personal things that's going on, I feel like it's hard to sometimes find the right people to talk to, because everybody doesn't understand the journey of like being an entrepreneur or running a business or
Mm-hmm.
trying to do something like writing a book. Like, that's a huge step, and when in that process, it's hard sometimes for people to understand what you're doing or why you're doing it. Like, some people might look at it like, why are you putting all of your deepest feelings and emotions into this book to share with everybody? But no, it's like, other people need to hear this at the end of the day. So I need to talk to people that's going to push me to do that, right? Or to more move me in that direction. I think a mentor is like huge. It's something I've been looking for. Like, I've been looking for a mentor for like a little minute now, and they say like when you're ready, it'll come to you. And
It'll
you
come.
in that, like, she's like, I want to mentor you. I think that kind of resonated with me, of just like, yeah.
Yeah, it was not something planned. It was not something like, it was from one day to another. And she was like, yeah, like I'm gonna mentor you. And we've been, in the process for about 3 years now, and just the growth is insane. Like, it's crazy, honestly. And to me, I feel like she's now like a very close friend. Like, I obviously she's my mentor, but we've created such a strong relationship and bond that I don't even view her like that anymore. Like, she's family, she's part of my life, and without her, this would not have been able to be possible, because she did push me to do those things, to publish those feelings and everything. So, yeah, mentors, and what you said is very true. Mentors will come into your life when you're ready for them and when you really need it. That's how she came into my life, at least. And I've noticed that that's how it happens for other people. Like, nobody just goes and looks for their mentor and then it's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna pick you. Like, no, like usually the person comes towards them. It's like, I really want to help you and I want to mentor you, and are you down for that? So
Yeah.
I think your time will come very soon. You're a very smart person, I can tell, and you guys are doing this podcast, and that's awesome. Like, that's that takes a lot of courage to do, like to sit here on a platform and speak and talk to different people, and post this and share with other people. Like, it's not easy, and I just admire you guys for it. Like, honestly, I've always wanted to be on a podcast, so this is like perfect for me.
Perfect timing, right? Because we just started this like a month ago. We planned. We picked up the phone one night and was like, you know what? Fuck it. Why not? Let's start a podcast. Because every time we had a phone call, how would you describe our relationship? Because at the time we were just talking like month to month. It wasn't like an everyday thing. It wasn't an every week thing. We just like hit each other up like once a month, maybe twice a month max, and just seeing the growth in each other and sharing ideas and all of that. And we just took it there one day.
Yeah, it's interesting because it's interesting because it's like relationships. I want to say relationships in general just come to you when you're ready for them. I know me and you have spoke about it before, like how I was kind of closed off to just new relationships and letting new people in. But around the time that me and you actually started talking, I was kind of in a mind state of being like more intentional about just how I handle and go about different relationships. So when we started talking, the first night we spoke for like a good 2-3 hours, and I'm like, I don't know you. he messaged me on Instagram, and I'm like, all right, this is type weird, but it's like we gonna roll with it because like it's a vibe there. Like you were saying, we was talking like maybe once a month or once every maybe like 2 months or so. So for us to come and like really start to bring things together, and then James is just like, we on the phone one night, he like, let's just start the podcast, like let's just do it, let's plan it out right now, let's get it done. And it's been a wonderful thing to just like experience and be able to talk through different things and kind of like ping ideas. And you're actually our second guest that we've had on here, and just even that experience of having somebody, it's a vibe, like having somebody else come on and shed their light and give their experience. And I know James actually was like, let's get Liz on here. Like, I know somebody that I'm like, I don't really know her too well, but like I seen her on Instagram. Like I seen she just dropped the poem book. Let's cop the book and let's get her on here. And I'm like, yeah, like let's do it. Then we grabbed the book, and I'm like, it's a vibe. Like I'm excited for this episode. But I don't know, it's exciting, just the whole journey and experience of like putting it out there. It's a vibe.
I'm not honestly. When James reached out to me about the podcast, like I can't even tell you guys, like I was so upset because I just felt as though I expected more out of my book, and it did not go as planned. I feel like I was just too hard on myself though, honestly. Like I'm one of those people, like, you telling me reach for the moon, like I'm going out of the galaxy. Okay, I'm not. The moon is not now. It's not what I want. So when I published my book and the sales didn't go how I expected them to go, I don't know why. I just thought like, oh, it's gonna sell out in a week. Like, no, Liz, it's not. That's not how things work. But then when he reached out to me, I was like, oh my God, like look, like I'm actually like touching people's hearts, and people want to read my book, and they want me on a podcast. Like who am I to be on a podcast? Like, so you guys definitely gave me like that boost that I needed in that time, in that moment. And it definitely just, I don't know, it just filled my heart up. Like I was very happy, very excited. Like I told my mom, I was like, Mom, I don't care what time we leave from the Airbnb, but you need to give me some time for this, because I need to make sure that I do this. I can't let my boy down. Like, we got to get this in. She was like, okay, yeah. Like, she was just in the little corner of the door recording me and stuff. Like, so when I heard about this, I was so excited. I was so happy. I was like just ecstatic. Like, so it's really cool. I'm definitely honored to be here, and I'm honored to be the second guest. Like that's a big deal. Like you guys are doing an awesome job. Like honestly.
For sure. And like I feel like we beat on ourselves a lot sometimes when it comes to just doing things. And I want to say it's that drive or like that go-getter inside of us that lets you know that like the moon is too close. You telling me to go for the moon, but I know that there's so much more out here like for me. Like it's so much that we can get. And you just saying like your part, I relate to that, because me and James, even like I posted a video on Instagram. I posted it and I'm like, nah, I'm about to take this down. Like I don't know how I feel about it, whatever. And then James hit me maybe like a couple days later, like, yo, like, I love the video. Like, let's talk a little bit. And now we're here. So, again, just that experience of just like sharing your story with other people, I feel like it goes so far and you don't even realize it. It's like, you may only have like 20 people who follow you or who buy the book, but for real, it's like that's 20 people that you may have touched, 20 people whose lives you may be changing. And we don't really look at a lot of things like that. We look at, like, we see social media and different things, like people selling 100,000 copies of a book, but it's like, you have to start somewhere. You know, you started in a galaxy, you don't have anywhere to go. Like, what, you gonna come back down to earth? You feel me? Like, you gotta give yourself somewhere to go, like, next.
Damn, that was a word right there. If you're in the galaxy, if you're trying to reach for the galaxy, that you're already there, where are you gonna go? That's a fact. That's very true. because when I first when I made the website and I published everything, like that first day that I dropped my book, I made 12 sales. My goal was 10. So I was like, super happy. I was like, oh my God, like, yes. Well, it's funny because I actually, towards the end of the night, I was at 9 and I was talking to my little brother. He's 13. And I tell him, I'm like, I'm a little upset. I had a goal and I'm almost there, but I'm not. So I'm a little upset. And he was like, oh, well, what was your goal? I was like, I wanted to sell 10 copies today. He was like, how many did you sell? I was like, 9. He was like, well, when we get home, I'll buy you the 10th one. And he literally went and gave me the money and bought it and everything. He was like, this is mine. Don't take it out of my room. I was like, oh, excuse me. So, and then after that, 2 other people purchased it from the website. But after that, things got kind of slow. And I started getting nervous. I'm like, was it worth it? Did I even do this? Like, do people really even want to hear about this? Like, am I stupid for doing this? But honestly, as time went by, I started realizing, like, number one, I didn't do this for the money. So why am I worried about sales? I did it because it was a passion and I wanted other people to be able to relate, because I know that there's people out there that have had same or similar experiences as what I put in the book. So when I started realizing that, I was like, okay, well, I don't care. 20 people bought my book. Well, that's 20 people that are sitting there and are reading this and they're relating to it, and they're probably finding themselves somewhere in that book and they're resonating with what you wrote. So that's 20 people. That's better than nothing. Like, your goal was to get your word out there, and you did it. And now you just have to be patient. And I feel like that was the hardest part for me. And even now, it's still the hardest part for me. I've sold 40 books and I wish it was more. But I tell myself, like, no, like, it's a process. Like, when people invest into something, it doesn't, their return doesn't come back immediately. It's throughout time that they're able to get what they put out back. So, but yeah, we're definitely very hard on ourselves. I know I am for sure.
So, I know we have to wrap up a little bit soon. But before we go, I wanted to get your favorite piece in the book. I personally want to say my favorite piece was probably Unpopular Opinion. I love that. That was my favorite one.
I love Unpopular Opinion. That's one of my favorite ones. Let's see. I don't know, because like I have so many. Actually, I do have a favorite piece. Oh my God, but I like them all. I'm not gonna lie. I really do. And they all have like a very special place in my heart, because when it happened, something was happening in that moment. So I feel like they all represent a very important one. But I will pick one. Oh my God, that's so hard. I would say it is, where is it? Oh, I just saw it. I would say it's You See Me, Can't Touch Me. I would say that that's one of my favorite ones.
Do you mind reading that? Oh.
Yeah. I'll read it. Even though my voice sounds crazy, but I will read it. Okay, so this one is: You see me, can't touch me. You cannot silence me. As much as you try, I will always defeat the enemies. So pure and true, you try to see me through you. We're not the same. I have sat down with my pain, kissed it, befriended it, and let it go its own way. No comparison. My gift is an inheritance. Now mainstream, more like imperative. This will go over your head, but this is somewhere I have been led, divinely protected by the physically dead. The spirit runs through me. She is chosen, and the stars they drew. Just don't try to stop me, because as you know, karma always comes back to pay what is due.
Sheesh,
I love that
that's
one.
straight fire right there.
That's deep.
I really love that one. I feel like when I wrote that, I was going through a point in my life where I felt like I wasn't being heard, and that's what came out of it, you know. So, but I'm excited to hear what your favorite one is, Chantel. I really want to hear this.
I think I like Unpopular. What was it? Unpopular Opinion. I read it and I was like taking notes as I was going. I got like a bunch of stuff for that one. I know we wrapping up. I would love to get into it, but yeah, that one and Untitled Part 2. I really liked. Some of the thing I haven't read it over again as we're here. But one of the things that I have written down, as you were writing that, I know you talked a little bit about just how you want to be remembered and like what happens after the fact. So while you're here, what is that thing that like once it's all said and done, you know, what is it that you really want to be remembered for? Like, who is Liz? Like, why? What do you want people to know when it's all said and done? Like, what do you want to be remembered as?
I want to be remembered as a person who inspired others to think differently. Um, I want people to have that different perspective. You know, I feel like some people think very black and white, no gray areas, and life is not like that. Um, so I definitely want people to be able to say like, oh, you know, like when she was here, like she helped me through this because she gave me this different perspective in life. Like she put it in a different view for me. Like I feel like when I'm in situations, like I always try to look at it from a bird's eye view and approach it that way. So that's what I want to be remembered as. I really want people to be like, well, she helped me. Like her expressing herself led to this, you know. Um I'm a I just want people to look at me and be like, well, if she was able to do it, I can do it. You know, if she's out here thinking like this, well, all it all it takes is for me to just switch, you know, my narrative and my perspective. So that's what I want to be remembered as. And it's funny that you speak on about Untitled Part 2 because um when I wrote that, I was thinking about my friend. So my friend passed away in 2018, and I'm gonna make this real quick. And when he passed away, it took them about like a year and a half to even put a tombstone where he was laid to rest, and it was just like a pile of dirt. And every time I visited, it was just so frustrating. It was like, okay, like this is already depressing as it is, you know. And then I'm coming here, and you guys don't even have the respect to even like finish this for him. And that's where that came from. I was like, well, when I'm gone, I don't want this. You know, I want somebody to bury me as a tree and let it grow. And when they come, like there's like a little plaque with my name on it. But when you come, you're not gonna see sadness. You're gonna see growth. You're gonna see a tree with new branches, new leaves, new something. Like it's gonna bring happiness to you because I don't want anybody to experience that feeling that I felt when I saw my friend laid to rest. And that's where that poem came from.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful.
I want to say first, sorry for your loss. And then like just planning that point of just like planting a tree, where you are. I think that's big. Because it's like you put out this book when it comes to just like telling your stories. Like you put out this book, and we know it's a bunch of other things coming that you're gonna do while you're here. But I feel like that tree just represents or signifies like the growth, and then also like the new things that are coming even though you're not physically here. You know, the other people, the new people that are going to read your book or see your videos or, you know, hear your voice and your message, is like it extends far beyond you and the physical, right? It's so many other things that are going to be birthed, so many other branches and leaves that are going to grow and sprout from what you're able to create while you're here, and just walking in that purpose. Like that's something that I'm big on. Like while we're here, we all have a purpose, right? So it's important for us to really walk in that purpose, even when things, you know, get difficult for us, or when you may experience hard times. Like you got a legacy to leave. You know, you got other things to really put out here while you're here. Like, I think that's huge. As is huge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Liz, I got a question for you.
Yes.
I think it's very obvious that you found your purpose, but do you feel like you're fulfilling it?
I don't think all the way. No, I think that there's still more to come. I'm definitely working on a second book, so just gonna throw that out there. But I'm definitely working on a second book. But this book is not going to be just poetry. I'm actually going to put some journal entries in there. So it'll be a little longer. But I feel is no. I'm not fulfilling it all the way. I still have so many things that I feel like people out there need to hear about. You know, I want to I want to touch people's lives in person. Like out here in Puerto Rico is a little difficult to do that. Just because of all the restrictions and everything that they got going on with COVID and stuff. But if I was out there, oh my God, I'd be walking around like all the towns, like New York, everywhere, just letting people know, like, hey, like, look, like, I released this book. Like, I feel like I am meant to really speak to people and enlighten them and help them. And so I feel like, yes, I'm fulfilling it partially, but definitely not all the way. Like, there's still a lot more to come, I feel like.
Yeah. That's like, I want to say, like, I want you to know that, like, hear from somebody else that, like, we hear, we see you, we hear you, like, your messages are, they're heard, you know, like what's in this book, I could relate and resonate with a couple of these poems in here. So I just want you to know, like, while you're here, like, it's happening. You feel me? Like, you may not be exactly where you want to be just yet, but it's here, it's happening, and believe that you're touching people, like, through these messages and whatever, everything else that you have coming, like, it's happening. And we gotta remember to just allow ourselves to grow through that. I know you mentioned a couple minutes ago, like, if they did it, like, I can do it too. You feel me? And just kind of keeping that thing in the back of my head, like, people have sold millions of one book, you know, so who's to say that this won't be you, or this is not going to be you? So I just want to give you your props, your kudos while you're here. Like, keep doing what you're doing. Your message, like, we hear you. Like, we really hear you. And just keep living in that purpose, because you definitely walking in them shoes. So
You have such a how do I say it? You have such a strong head on your shoulders. Let's just say that. Like, you have a
Thank
head
you.
on your shoulders. You are doing it. And I don't know if you know this, but I'm a writer myself. I write music, I write songs, and I do put a lot of my experiences in that. I do write in a journal. I used to write stories all the time. And let me tell you something, I haven't wrote stories or anything like that in a while. And when I tell you, after reading this, you have inspired me. So you have
Oh,
inspired me.
stop.
I've always wanted to get into poetry, and you've definitely, I was actually in a poetry club, but you've definitely inspired me to touch on poetry and or just write in general. So thank you. I thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for coming on to the podcast and just
Oh my
being
God. You guys are
the
making
bright
me
energy.
emotional.
Thank you for being the bright energy that you are. You have such a warm aura.
Thank you so much. My great grandma used to always say to my dad, you know, don't be giving me flowers when I'm dead. Give them to me now that I'm here. And my dad always told me that. He was like, no, like, you deserve your flowers now. And I feel like you guys just gave me that. And that really warmed my heart. You guys made me emotional. But I'm not going to cry because we're not going to do all that. That's going to leave that for when we get off the camera.
Let me tell you
But
something.
no,
There's a million
but
more
no.
flowers headed your way. So many more flowers headed your way. For sure.
Thank you guys so much, for real. Like, you guys are doing an amazing job at this podcast, and you guys have definitely just lit that fire again for me, and I'm so excited to just do more stuff, and I can't wait to see where you guys go with this. Like, I'm definitely going to be tuning in when do you guys put these episodes out? Like, is it weekly, or how does that go?
every week at Wednesday at 1 o'clock on YouTube. You can find us there. Link is in the bio for the viewers. Go ahead, check out the page, Broad Horizons.
Okay.
It was great having you on though. Make sure y'all also go tune into her. Just go ahead and give us the plug. Where can we find you? Where can the people tap in with you, find your book, all that good stuff?
So my Instagram for my book is Aligned. So IYE and then lined like aligned LIGNED. Yeah, you guys can find me on there. My book will be on my website, eyelightment.com, the same name of the book. And you guys can purchase it there. And yeah, like, I'm so happy. Thank you guys for having me. Like, this was really a pleasure. And you guys have definitely checked this off my bucket list. So I'm ecstatic right now. And this is a great way to start May. You know, they say like April showers bring May flowers or whatever. So this is a great way to step into a new month. I'm so happy.
Hey Chantel, I hate to ask on camera in front of our special guest, but would you mind having Liz Marie come back sometime in the future?
Let's do it.
We'd love to have you back, honestly.
My head, like I told you I was taking notes as I was writing. I still got a bunch of points that we honestly didn't even hit. Just in
there's so much.
Yes, we could do a part 2 whenever. Like I'm available. So you guys just let me know and we'll coordinate and we'll have a part 2. I would definitely love that. And then maybe my voice won't sound like this.
All right, guys. It's been really nice. I'm James.
I'm Chantel.
Liz.
Thank you guys for tapping in, and we'll see you next week.
Love.